About CM Punk. It's been a long time since I've talked anything wrestling on my channel. So let's talk about CM Punk. Excuse the chair. Let's talk about CM Punk. And let's talk about him coming back to WWE. You know, there has been teases over the last month of WWE TV from that Fastlane pay-per-view that they had, where Corey Graves mentioned the devil. You know, the best thing the devil did was making people that he never exist, the whole Ring of Honor promo. And then he did those other things like even USA Network was teasing Punk, saying best in the world, and GTS and all that other shit. And then Shinsuke Nakamura, who's been booked pretty well since Triple H just took over creative, has been calling out somebody for Survivor Series. And obviously we know that whole thing what happened at All In with Jack Perry and Punk, and how Jack Perry wanted to use real glass like a fucking idiot, and Punk's like, no, don't use real glass, use sugar glass. And obviously because, again, people in AEW don't like taking veterans' advice, Hangman Page, obviously Punk got let go because the EVPs don't like CM Punk, because Punk was a draw in AEW. He actually drew millions of viewers to him. And I love Edge, but he's not bringing in the millions of viewers. He's only bringing 609,000, 709,000. Bringing CM Punk back in WWE. And I know a lot of people say, why would you do business with CM Punk? It's a fucking business. I know Punk had bad history with WWE, leaving WWE 9.5 years ago from that doctor and all that other bullshit. But again, Punk's older now. Yeah, you can say, oh, about the past year with the Elite and whatever. He's dealing with the fucking Elite here, people. He's dealing with guys that have never been in a fucking corporate business. He's never been in the corporate world. That are like, oh my god, we don't want to do business. We don't want to do that. Our feelings are hurt. Even when Punk was frustrated with Vince, and Vince kept saying, I owe you one, I owe you one. Punk was the guy that still did business. He still went out there and wrestled The Rock at the Rumble and dropped the title. And he lost to him at the pay-per-view after that. Was it Elimination Chamber? He went and wrestled Taker. He went and wrestled Ryback when he was injured, and you know, because it's business, he knows it's a fucking business. And Punk's not one of these guys, much as Punk, yes, he is a loose cannon, he has some controversial opinions. He's still going to do business at the end of the day, and he wanted to do business with the Elite, and him coming back to WWE is going to do great things for WWE, especially if Punk comes back as a heel. Imagine if he's coming back as a conniving, dictative heel. Oh my god, the money you can make. You could do stuff with AJ Styles and CM Punk. They have history. Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Seth Rollins was running his mouth last year. In an interview saying he doesn't want Punk as a can. So that's a story you could do for WrestleMania. There's Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. There's CM Punk, Bobby Lashley. There's CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. You could do something with him and Brock again. Or the thing that you could do with CM Punk is you do CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, which again has to happen at some point. Roman Reigns was saying that Punk was never a draw a couple of years ago on Aaron Hawani's podcast. He also has the tie. They both had the tie with Paul Heyman. They're both Paul Heyman guys. It really, in my opinion, that has to happen. And Punk, in my opinion, yes, CM Punk, there's been a lot of bad blood. People saying, well, would he come back? Look at Warrior. Look at Carlos Colon. Look at that Memphis Mid-Card position trash Jeff Jarrett. Look at Bruno Sammartino. All these guys that didn't like Vince or didn't like Vince or had heat with Vince for decades or Vince held money from them or whatever, all came back at some point. And CM, because it's all about business, and Punk will come back as well. And again, all those guys have just enough. He could have a feud with Gunther. There's a lot of people in a year or so he could have feuds with, and he could end his career finally having that WrestleMania payday, that main event WrestleMania match that he really wanted. And at the end of that, Punk can end his career, maybe go backstage and work in WWE, maybe work behind the scenes at NXT, and maybe help people like Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. There's so many people that you can work with in WWE, and bringing CM Punk back, he's going to move merch. He's a good merch seller. He was the first time when he came back, and he was in AEW. He was one of their top sellers in AEW. He's going to be great with a merch stand. He's going to be great with pulling viewership in. He's going to be especially with turning him heel, especially on the Raw brand. Raw's really lacking a couple of. I know you had the Judgment Day, but Raw really needs you know, a single heel, like a single main event guy heel. Like they have a faction Judgment Day which are heels, but they need a single. So like, imagine CM Punk was the heel guy on Raw, and he's just, you know, talking trash and saying that, you know what, this generation is messed up. You know, I left this place, I try to leave this place in a better place, and everybody says I'm the problem. No, you guys are the problem because you are the problem. You are the reason why, and whatever. And you can have a really good heel CM Punk 6 months, 7 months, 7 month heel angle on TV where he's just talking trash and just being himself, being a dick. That could be a thing. But ultimately, that's just my opinion on CM Punk's return to WWE. It's probably going to happen at Survivor Series. People say, oh, he's going to be the fifth man at War Games, possibly.